Hi guys, Martin88 here and welcome back to another FIFA 22 video, and today we've got another Squad Battles tutorial for you. Yes, that's right, and you can probably tell by the title that it is us looking at how to beat low chemistry teams on Ultimate but playing as co-op, because it does make a difference. Before we get into that, before we get into the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have actually started offline coaching, which has been really successful so far, and it's probably because a lot of people are finding the game hard. So if that is something of interest to you, it's £15 an hour. Go over and have a look at my Twitter page for more info. If not, settle down, there's loads of tutorials coming on the channel. So let's get straight into the action. Right, and as you can see now, we have got a team with 44 chemistry, and that is the team that we are going to be playing. It's a full game, and as you can see now, I'm going through the stats just to show you what that means when it's as low as 44 chemistry. And basically it means that the players will have like -5, -9 stats, and if you don't know what that means, it means that on Ultimate they usually have 99 stats all over the park. Okay, so if you see a -9, that means that player then becomes 90 rated, which is still difficult, but as a co-op pair it's much easier to overcome. And that's my first little tip, and something just to suggest for you, that if you are a solo player, and most people are solo players to be fair, I play a hell of a lot of solo, highest solo score in the world last year, just saying that, but it is a lot easier co-op wise, and you shouldn't really be trying, well, you definitely shouldn't be trying to attempt playing Ultimate on solo yet. It's far too difficult. Okay, there is a goal straight away in this game. We're just going to watch this and then I'm going to get into some tips, because it's a really good goal and Heung-min Son is absolutely amazing. And just maybe go back to that goal in a little while once we've gone through a few tips. So what I want to do is tell you guys some of the attacking tips that I've got and the defending ones, and then you can just see comparisons of it while the game is playing. Okay, so first thing that I wanted to say about the attacking, right? What can you do that's different from solo? Well, one of the easiest things is through ball. So say like a through ball down the line. If you've got your ball with your fullback, which say for me is Ferland Mendy, have we got an example now? We can ping it straight down the line, yeah, to Heung-min Son, and if your co-op partner has got him highlighted, there's no chance, realistically, or shouldn't be, of the opposition nicking it and get it. You can run long and you can say to your co-op partner, lofty through ball if you're beyond him, or if you see that there's loads of space, you can actually tell your co-op partner to play a driven through ball, or if you want to come short. So many advantages to allow you to get in round the sides, okay? Or you might just want to cut inside with your player, like I did with the first goal with Heung-min Son. That takes me on to my second attacking tip or trick. So what I like about playing on co-op as well is you can get your co-op partner to make runs and drag players away, which then allows you to go into the space, which is how we scored our first goal. I love driving inside with Salah and Son and just creating havoc, and if my co-op partner has our striker and starts to pull a defender away, it's a lovely bit of space for them to go into, and because that they've got the best finishing, I like to hit shots with them. That is another thing. What I've noticed so far, and loads of us, and I'm struggling on solo, I'm not going to lie. I'm playing solo this week and it's taking me, I'm absolutely pounding the AI on Legendary to get my 5 goals. None of this anymore at the moment, 5 shots, 5 goals. But one thing I would say massively is that for your shots to be going in, and this might sound simple, but EA have really cranked it up, is you need to have players with really good shooting stats. Long gone are the days where you can just shove an anti-Martial up front, put a through ball through and he'll just finish it. Like I said, I've noticed massively that if it's not Heung-min Son or Mo Salah, although in this game it's Sterling, I now have Salah. If it's not them two, boy, it's difficult to score a goal, because their shooting stats are that much higher than the rest of the team. You don't half notice it, and it's the same like with the passing, to be honest. And yeah, it never really used to be like that. Attacking wise as well, cutbacks, that should be the most simple thing. So if you've played your ball down the wing and you've managed to get in, your co-op partner can just pull off or go in wherever the space may be, and you've got the easiest of tap-ins. That is a little bit more difficult when you're playing solo. We do score a goal like that towards the end of this first half, so keep an eye out for that one. And the other thing, and this is one of the most important ones actually, because the AI can play really deep, and that is little intricate runs in and around the box. When you're trying to break them down, like, you can pull people out of position and put them into little pockets of space where the AI has to drag someone away and all that type of stuff. And like I said, again on solo, they will stay a little bit more rigid to where they've been told, so it helps you break them down an awful lot more. Okay, defending tips. So for me anyway, and you'll see a lot of clips like this, I think stay narrow, stay very narrow, and get men behind the ball, because the AI are really good at long shots, particularly if you have somebody with decent long shots. Although they're all supposed to have 99 rated, if you still get a Bruno Fernandes or a Kevin De Bruyne on the ball, it does seem to go in an awful lot more. I'm talking on Ultimate here. So what we do is try and push the AI out wide, and we do that by staying really narrow so that there is just a mass of bodies between the AI and the goal, and they're just forced to go wide. And then at that point you'll see numerous clips of this, and I will draw your attention to it when it arises. But I will just stick with the fullback and jockey them. I don't care if there's 2 or 3 of them out there, I can do a job with them. And my co-op partner will have a CDM highlighted, like in between the 2 centre halves, ready for if a ball comes in to the box. And I feel like that is a really good way of trying to defend against the AI. Now, with all those attacking tips and the defending ones, there is one massive overriding factor that you need to consider, okay? And that is that no matter how good you are or how many tutorial videos that you can watch, and that we're only 2-3 weeks into FIFA, ultimately, if you haven't got a very good team, it's going to be hard work. And at this stage, some of the players that we're using really aren't that good at all. And it can make life really, really difficult, I'm afraid. So yeah, don't beat yourself up if you're watching one of my tutorials or somebody else's tutorials and you're trying to implement the same things but it's not working. Just give it a few weeks. Right, we see right there, guys, a cutback goal that I was talking about. The space arose just to cut it back. It looks so simple, but if you're playing solo, you never know where Jesus might run there. So you can just see there, one of the points I was talking about can make it so easy for you to score goals. Really, really, really easy. So we're approaching half-time now, and it is 3-0, right? Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, you should be doing much better than this, but the same like momentum, rules, scripting, whatever you want to say, apply with co-op squad battles play. Sometimes you can play a 44 rated chemistry team and it's an absolute doddle and you're 5-0 up after 20 minutes. Other times you can be banging at the door till the 80th minute. That is just how squad battles is, and that's no matter whether it's a solo or co-op. So the AI still plays exactly the same, if you wasn't aware. Right, look here, guys. Defending tip, what I was saying about with the fullbacks, that was a great example right there. And we managed to keep them out, preserve our clean sheet, which is really important, and go into half-time with a 3-0 lead. Let's go into the second half. Okay, guys, so we're in at half-time at 3-0. We know that we have two goals to go. And across the second half, I'm going to talk to you a bit more what happens up here in a co-op game. Because it isn't a lot different. You still need to approach the game the same. Stick to your principles. Don't start diving in. Don't start getting impatient, because it will get you absolutely nowhere. And if it takes you a little while to break them down and to get the goals, so be it. You don't need to feel like, oh, everybody says it's easier on co-op, we should be winning 5-0 already. It is easier, but only once it starts to click. So if you've got a co-op partner and you've played once and it's not really worked that well, then work on it, you know. And another key factor, and I go mental at my co-op partner about this, is communication. You really need to communicate, right? You have the advantage of controlling 2 players on the pitch, right? You can talk to each other. So flipping tell them what you want to do. If you want it left, tell them left. If you want it to pass them to Heung-min Son, you tell them, pass it to Heung-min Son. Don't just sit there in silence and think, oh, that would have been a good pass, and he plays it somewhere else. Because you're going to find life so difficult. And get into a rhythm of playing where you both start to know, without talking, how you're going to play. But you always do need to keep the communication on. Right, let's go back to the defending. This is a great little clip. Okay, so we got our back 4, our 2 CDMs behind the ball, and they still managed to get a shot away, but it was at an angle where we managed to force them out. They love a short corner this year as well, so be careful not to dive in, because they will just home in on goal. We get a nice little offside trap there as well. You can see loads of balls down the line, as we was talking about, and then that just allows us to cut inside and start another attack. Do we get a goal from this one? I can't completely remember. Yeah, we do. Yeah. So you can see there, guys, from some of the tips that I was talking about, we have a ball down the line, we start cutting inside, and then we get a lovely overload situation, and we get to score a goal. And that is, you can do that solo, and I do it a lot, but it's just so much easier. So much easier co-op. So let's have another look here, see if we can find a defending tip. So I'm telling my partner here, I'm like, stay in the middle, don't come over until you need them. And you can see here, we're just crowding them out. We're not diving in, we're not tackling, and to be honest, this is a tough defending situation because I can tell that they're playing well. But I stick with the fullback, he sticks with the CDM, and we eventually intercept it. And then what do? We get our lovely ball down the line, and we're away. It's as simple as that. If you stick to your game plan, okay, guys. So, what can you expect score-wise from a game like this if you're playing co-op? So, traditionally, if you get 5 goals against Ultimate, you're always going to be looking at about 3,000 points. If you get it with the clean sheet against a lower chem team, you're probably looking at about 3,200. If it was a 100 chem team, you're going to be looking more like 3,400, which of course is massive. So if you were wondering as well, and you don't know how co-op works, you both get the same amount of rewards, which is obviously really nice. And obviously you can both build your teams, or you don't have to share it or anything like that. Sorry, I was just hesitating to see whether this is where we get our 5th goal or not. I think no, it's not. So right, beeline here. Draw you back to what I was saying about having Heung-min Son or Mo Salah. That was Phil Foden there on his strong foot, right? Every bone in your body is telling you that that was going to be a goal, right? And it's not. They're probably the kind of chances that you're hitting and you're thinking, oh, how aren't they going in? And you're absolutely right. But you just need better players in that position. Yeah, you could be fiddly and say, oh, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that. But overall, it will help just having better finishers in your team, and hopefully chances like that will start to go in. You can see there, I've tried a few finesse shots in this game. They do work really well if you've got good players with the finesse shot, as I'm sure that you know. So, you can see here, we're still only 4-0 with 15 minutes to go. It's been relatively easy game, and I must say that in a lot of our games we do end up scoring late goals. So like I've said before, the mentality, don't start panicking, just stick with your game plan like we are here. I'm going out with the fullback, my man's got the CDM in the middle of the pitch, which is actually who clears it. Alphonso Davies was the CDM, clears it, we then break away, lovely. And who's on the end of that? That's our man. He's not missing, he is not missing, Heung-min Son. And that takes us to 5-0. Right, guys, so we eventually reach 5-0, and what am I doing at this point? So 5-0 is the holy grail, right? There's nothing going to get you more points than that unless you start going for corners and that. But if you risk doing that, you might lose your clean sheet, which is worth more points. So I always go over, change my tactics, go a little bit more defensive, and always have a look at the match facts, see how many shots and targets do we have, how many corners do we need, weigh up whether I think it's worth it or not. And for the purpose of the video, we still try and get the corners, but I don't think that we do get them all, because I find it really tough on this FIFA. I mean, I know every trick in the book and I've tried everything, and there's nothing that really works that well. Against low rated teams, it's even worse, because you have a shot and they just let it in at 5-0. It's like the AI knows, well, I'm convinced that they do. Or you run across the line, the byline, to try and get a corner, and they just let you run past them. Yes, it can be quite fiddly. So overall, you have to weigh up, is it really worth it? And in this situation, it probably wasn't, or isn't. If I wasn't doing it for the purpose of the video, I'd have just said, don't worry about getting the extra 4 corners. Let's just hold tight and get our clean sheet, because 5-0 wins aren't as easy to come by on this FIFA. So, guys, like I said, we have basically approached the end of the game now. I hope that you've taken some tips from it. It's a little bit different talking about co-op. Obviously, my ultimate bread and butter is solo, and there'll be some more stuff coming on about that later in the week. But if you've got any questions about co-op, or how it works, or how you should play, or you don't still understand how you even play co-op, we're inviting people out left, right and centre, please get in the comments and let me know. If you do want any coaching sessions, solo or co-op, please contact me on Twitter. So that is the end of the game. We got a nice little 5-0 win. We'll have a look at the stats, we'll have a look at the points that we scored from it, and then we'll sign off. Gabriel Jesus with a nice hat-trick. So you also get a nice batch of coins for a 5-0 win as well. They build up over the course of the 40 games. You see there, even though the rubbish team, we only got 45% possession, and we got 3,200 odd points, which is lovely jubbly indeed. So guys, that is it for today. Please drop a like on the video if you like what you've seen. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow. See you later, guys. Bye bye.